Hi, I'm Josh,
Hey, I'm Adrian.
and today we have more Big Brother tea to spill.
Yes, sir. And today we are spilling on the next episode.
19.
19. Okay, thank you for reminding me. Um, Literally, my notes say don't know the episode number. Uh, but this brings us to the live eviction. It's going to start off with the veto ceremony because we didn't get to see that last episode. As y'all might remember from last episode, there was a game played called the High Rollers game, and that gives them the opportunity for them to be two vetoes, which we found out one belongs to Kyland, one belongs to Alyssa. So the episode jumps right into the net veto ceremony. We see that Kylan does use his power of veto. He does take Claire off the block, replaces her with Britney, who
Brittany.
at this point, Britney already knows that she was going to go up. She already went on a rampage.
Right. Sorry, I'm sorry. Then.
And then, so right after that, Alyssa does not use her power of veto. So the
Right.
nominations of Derek F. and Brittany are locked in. Those are the people that they're going to be voting on today. As usual, the episode right there goes into confessional interviews about how they're feeling about being on the block. The first one we hear about is Claire, since she got removed off the block. And she's mad at Kyland. Like he just took you off the block, and you're saying, I'm not gonna thank him for that because he shouldn't have put me there in the first place. Like, let's not get too cocky now.
Well, I don't agree with it because first of all, Claire hasn't done shit. But at the same time, if it was me, like if I was in Claire's shoes, then I would feel the same way. I think Claire has like some type of complex where she feels like she's too good for certain things. Like I feel like maybe that's the reason why she's kind of like just coasting, or not even, but yeah, she's coasting. The reason why she's coasting is because she's like, she feels comfortable. Like she doesn't feel like anybody's attacking her. She feels like she's good with everybody. She's just like eating her sandwiches, and it's like, you haven't really done shit though. We're already enduring. You haven't done anything. So for him to put you up isn't really a surprise, and it's not something that you should not be thankful for or whatever. Like you should be thankful because you were the one that was going to go home. So
Right.
hello.
I mean, you were a target for a little bit. So
Right.
um so then they interview Alyssa, and I guess they ask her why she didn't use the power of veto, but she explains that she didn't use it because she feels like everybody in the house is against her right now. And she felt like if she used the power of veto, they were probably going to try to backdoor Xavier, which wouldn't be good for her, which in reality, keeping Xavier isn't good for you anyways. Um, but that's why she didn't use the power of veto, because she wanted just the noms to stay the same after that.
So
Then we have another person. Go ahead.
I was going to say really quick. So that kind of just reminds me. So Xavier technically lost his +1, if you will, which was a Whitney, and then Alyssa lost her +1, which is Christian. So does that mean that Xavier and Alyssa are gonna like?
No.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. I was like, is this gonna happen? Like,
No, it's not. It's not because one, Xavier is not going to go for it because he is part of the cookout, and the cookout is against Alyssa. So he's not going to put himself in that position to put him like in a corner himself. But not only that, he's already turned down Azza, and he said that he just doesn't want a
well,
showmance.
as a human being and as an observer, if I was put in front of Alyssa and Azal, I would go with Alyssa. So I would
You would.
easily say no. I would say no to Azal. So just because he said no to Azal doesn't mean that he can say no to Alyssa.
No, I think he would.
I don't know. I mean, it's a
I
little
think
late, but I don't know.
moving on. So we have another person that's mad, and this person is Derek F. Now, he agreed to be a pawn for Kyland, to go be a pawn against anybody else but Britney or Azza. And now he's sitting on the block against Britney, which is one of his best allies from the previous Joker's team. And he says he will not campaign against Britney. He's just going to let things happen as they happen. I mean, I get it that y'all are close. I wouldn't want to campaign against my friend, but at the same time, like, just don't care. Like, you're still there playing a game.
Right. And it's just like, it just doesn't make sense to me, because it's like, don't you want a window? Like, I think, like, I mean, I don't know. People get confused. Like, I mean, again, we've never been in the Big Brother house, so we can't say what it's like. But I feel like if I was there and I had built some like solid like connections with people, even though it would suck for me to get rid of them at certain stages in the game, like I would still be like, well, I mean, I still want a window, and we all know that it's a game, and like it sucks sometimes, but that's just part of the game. Like once I win, if I do, then we can all go out for drinks, and it'll be on me.
Right. I don't know. I mean,
yeah,
people think differently. Everybody's different. And Derek F said he's not going to campaign against Whitney. So we'll see how that happens later in the episode. Then I guess they interview Kylan next, and he is saying that he's confident with the Cookouts plan. Even if it lands in a tie, he will be the tie-breaking vote that will send Britney home. So he's confident that Britney's going to get evicted. So, I mean, that's where he stands. So then the episode goes into Britney's meltdown after Veto Ceremony, because it happens. It's happened every single time she's on the block. She goes to the same room, talks to the same people about her being on the block. And this time she kind of talks a little bit more about the deal that she has with Kylan. Remember yesterday I asked you, I was like, what deal is she talking about? Now, the deal that she's talking about is last time that Kylan was HOH, she had asked him, if you keep me safe, I will keep you safe for the next 2 weeks. I don't know what that meant, but Kylan agrees to it. Obviously, he's going to take the safety for 2 weeks to make sure, I guess. But Kylan went back on the deal.
But wasn't Kylan, when was the last time that Kylan was in HOH, though? It was like way more than 2 weeks, wasn't it? So then that deal was off.
I don't know if it was during his last HOH or if it was recently. And I don't know why the deal came up. They don't talk about the background of the deal, but that was the deal. The deal was, you keep me safe, I keep you safe for the next 2 weeks. I don't know how she was planning to do that. I guess she was not going to vote for him. I don't know how that deal was going to work out. It's kind of a vague deal. Like there's too much what ifs in between it. But that was a deal. Kylan went back on it. And that's why she's upset.
This is where negotiation 101 comes into play, because the first thing that you need to have when you're negotiating with someone is leverage. You need to know that if you are putting something to the table, that you can back it up. What does Britney have to back up? She doesn't have anything. She doesn't have strong bonds with anybody. She doesn't have a winning record. She doesn't have a strong alliance. Like what does she have? Like it's like she can't go to someone and be like, hey, I'm gonna keep you safe for 2 more weeks. On the grounds of what? I'm pretty sure you're not gonna win an HOH. I'm pretty sure you don't have a strong alliance that's coming after me, like a strong alliance with winning competitors. Like, what is your leverage?
I think the other thing that she kind of thinks is that for a while she was a swing vote. She was that one person that they were after to make sure they voted their way to get the last vote. I think that's what she
like for maybe like a week. I do remember that.
I mean, like I said, they don't give too much background regarding this deal, but they do talk about the deal.
It also takes big math, though. I mean, there was going to be times where she was going to be the swing vote because there was lines divided, like there was a line drawn, and they weren't sure what her vote stood. But that vote was not going to be important every single time. It was really just going to be on the times where it was pretty much even. If all of the votes are on one side, then her vote really doesn't matter. So she doesn't have the leverage. So She unfortunately doesn't have that strong of a gameplay. She's not strategic. She's not strategic. She's not social. She is not a comp beast. Like, great person. She just wasn't meant to be in this game. I feel like it sounds harsh, but she just wasn't it for it.
I mean, we can all be kind of somewhat proud of Britney for the way that she tried to do things. It didn't work out in her favor, but she at least tried.
Right.
So after we see Britney's meltdown, we go a little bit into Claire and Tiffany talking in the HOH room, which this conversation gets a little interesting because they are discussing their options between Derek F and Britney. And Claire starts pushing hard that she wants Derek F to go out this week because he's coasting to the end, and she feels like everybody thinks they could beat him in the end, and that's why he's going to make it to the final. And then she is in a confessional. She says, if they are thinking about taking him to the end, they aren't thinking about taking me to the end, so I need to get rid of him. Now, in the conversation, Tiffany is agreeing with Claire. She's giving her what Claire wants to hear. Yes, I agree with you. I can get rid of him later. He's easy to beat, blah, blah, blah. But in reality, Tiffany is like, this is not going to happen.
Right.
Derek F is part of the cookout. He's not going to go anywhere. And I have strong opinions.
Wait, I'm sorry. Oh, okay. So she was trying to get, I thought for some reason you said Derek X. Okay. And then?
No, Derek F. I mean, I have strong opinions specifically on this episode because it does get kind of touched a bit. I do have a lot of opinions regarding the cookout. We aren't going to talk about that because that's not who we are or what we talk about, but it's clear. They make it very clear in this episode that that's what's going on. Tiffany tells Claire that she agrees with her regarding Derek F. And she says that she's going to think about it and see what she can do. That way they can evict Derek F. The next conversation that we have in the episode is a conversation between Claire and Derek. It's not Claire, I'm sorry. The next conversation that we see is Derek X and Hannah talking.
That's what I was thinking of.
And they are talking about wanting to keep Britney over Derek F because he's the better option for them. Hannah is agreeing to this, and she even said in a confessional, he's making a lot of sense. Like, if I was playing an individual game, like, I would be all over this plan. However, Hannah is unfortunately part of the cookout as well. So even though it's better for them, they are still thinking about this alliance versus their personal game. And she's not going to go along with the plan. She's just feeding Derek X what he wants to hear.
But see, okay, and I do have to say that Hannah does gain some points on that because she is very much thinking strategically. She's thinking right now it's not the good time to get rid of Derek F. She's like, I know that Derek F and Azar are at the bottom of that alliance. Like, they're going to go before me probably, but not right now. We still need to get rid of a few more people. We need to get rid of what's her name? Britney, maybe Claire, and then we can get rid of Azal, and then we can get rid of Derek F, and then me and you, Derek X, can plan on getting rid of the other three or whatever. Like, she's thinking very strategically, and that's where I can see that she is a smart player.
Right. I mean, I just don't like that they're putting this alliance before anything else. Like, I know that it's a plan to get you to the 6th, but are you thinking past the 6th? Like, seriously, they need to start thinking about what happens past the 6th.
Well, yes, but again, this is where it gets really interesting on some of these characters within this alliance. I feel like Tiffany and Xavier are very much about the cookout. Like, they're like the core of this alliance. And then you have Kylan, who's also he's like, yeah, of course I have to protect the cookout. But he already has his eyes on Sarah Beth. He's like, Sarah Beth is like my final two. Like, Sarah Beth is kind of like on the side, kind of thing. It's like, whenever the cookout breaks out, I have Sarah Beth to fall on. And then Hannah on the other side is like, yeah, of course I'm a part of the cookout. Of course I'm never going to backstab them. But I also have Derek X on my side. So whenever that does happen, I still have Derek X. So those two players are playing very strategically. That yes, they're loyal to the cookout as of now, but whenever it comes time for them to break out of it, they already have their other backups. Tiffany and Xavier, Derek F, and Azad do not have that, and they did. Derek F and Azad did with Britney, but Britney's gone. So now Derek F and Azad are gonna scramble.
But they kind of have each other at this point.
Yeah, but they're at the bottom of that alliance though. They don't have anyone else.
I mean, when they get to the 6, I do think that if all goes well and the cookout stays together and they make it to the 6, I feel like the next few noms are gonna be Derek F and Asa. Like you said, they're at the bottom of that alliance. It's known. Tiffany doesn't really like Derek F, and she's made it that known. The only reason she's sticking by him is because he's part of this alliance. But other than that, she doesn't have that much liking towards him, and he doesn't have a liking to her, as he's already called her a bitch several times in the previous episodes. So they don't get along. They're going to come after each other after they get to the 6. Now it's going to determine who really gets that HOH after the 6 makes it to the 6. But for now, everybody is just looking out for this alliance. Other options in decisions that they're making are for the Cookout Alliance. So the reason that Derek X thinks that it would be better to keep Britney in the house is because he feels like Britney would target big people, which he names as Kyland and Xavier. He feels she's strong enough. She would do it. And that's what he needs. He needs somebody else to put those 2 people on the block because those are the people that are coming after him.
But also because she is a shield. She is like she'll probably, I mean, if she were to stay, if she would have stayed or whatever, if she would stay, she would be a shield for them to not be nominated. You know what I mean? Because I don't think Derek X is at the point where he's going to be nominated. You know what I mean? Like I think he still feels pretty safe, especially like if Britney were to stay, then for sure he would not be nominated. And I think that's what he wants.
Well, that's right now. Things kind of change a little bit in the episode, and we'll talk about that here in a bit. But Derek X starts working up a plan about how he could keep Britney in the house. Obviously, he doesn't know about this Cookout Alliance, so he starts working up a plan. And his plan starts off with talking to Claire, Hannah, and Tiffany. And he starts explaining to them why he thinks Britney would be better for their game, how it would be beneficial to everybody. However, the only 2 people paying attention and actually considering this plan is Derek X himself and Claire, because Hannah and Tiffany they're a part of the alliance. They're not. They're just listening, feeding information. That's basically what this episode is about how they're protecting the alliance.
Right.
So that gets Tiffany kind of talking. She does explain in a confessional that she does like Derek X and Claire a lot, and that she would be very sad whenever they get voted out. I mean, she's going to be sad about it. But then she goes and talks to Xavier in front of the restrooms, and they start questioning whether if they have a plan going in for next week. And Tiffany said that, I mean, even though she does like Derek X and Claire, that they need to target them next. So at this point, that's their targets. The Cookout's targets next is Derek X and or Claire. So Tiffany agrees with this. Xavier agrees with this. So Xavier decides, hey, I'm going to win next HOH. I'm going to go hard for it. That way we can make sure that they are on the target together. So Xavier runs with this information. He goes up to Kyler, who is the current HOH, and they start talking about how they need to convince Derek X to throw the competition. That way they could really put him on the block. So they bring him into the room, and Derek X is quiet the whole time that they're talking. So basically, back and forth, it's Xavier talking to Kylan, Kylan talking to Xavier, Derek X is in the room. And they're talking about their options, what needs to happen next. And then I guess Xavier notices that Derek X hasn't said anything in a while, because he goes, hey, you haven't said anything. What's your opinions? And Derek X goes, well, basically the same thing that you're talking about. But this whole time, Derek X is
Right.
absorbing all this information, all this
Of
vibes
course.
that he's getting.
Right.
So I don't know what happens to Kylan, but Kylan disappears from the HOH room, and then it's just left with Xavier and Derek X. And Xavier's still pushing for him to throw the veto, give it to him, let me win. And he says,
The
hey, if
ve-
you let me win,
the veto
I
or
mean,
the
I'm sorry,
HOH?
the HOH. The HOH, I'm so sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
So he goes, if I win the HOH, just know that you and Hannah are not even going to see the block. Y'all are completely safe. Just give me the HOH. To where now it's Derek X's turn to feed Xavier what he wants to hear, because he goes, yeah, I see what you're talking about. It's beneficial for me. I'm going to go ahead and throw you the veto. I mean, the HOH. God, what is wrong with me today? But yes, he agrees to Xavier that he needs to give him the HOH. Immediately, the next scene in the episode is Derek X talking to Claire about what just happened. And then he goes, hey, he's like, I have a question for you. What does it mean when a person is really telling you, give me the HOH, you're going to be safe anyways? And Claire goes, they're going to backdoor you.
The
That's
opposite,
exactly
of course.
what it,
This is what I struggle with Xavier so much, because Xavier thinks that he has everybody wrapped around his fingers, I guess, or he feels that he has a good read in the house, or he feels that he can do whatever he wants in the house. He feels that he's untouchable for some reason. So he feels like, you know what, I've been throwing comps this whole time because I've been throwing comps this whole time. Now I need someone else to throw a comp for me because I need to be HOH. No, that's not the way it works. I'm sorry, buddy. Like, Derek X is not going to do your dirty work just because you want to win HOH because it's convenient for you. Like, what world do you live in?
right. And not only that, but Derek X has already caught on, like what he was doing in the HOH room. He was absorbing everything up, and he was thinking. He figured you
Right.
out way before you even asked him what his opinion was. He
Right.
already knew this is going to be a way for Kylan and Xavier to take a shot at me.
Right.
And he went and he talked to Claire, and Claire confirmed it. Yes, it sounds like they're trying to backdoor you. So that's when he tells Claire, I'm not going to give him the HOH because it's basically me giving him the chance to take a shot at me. So now I need to win the HOH to keep myself and you safe. So going into the HOH, we have Xavier thinking, I'm about to win because he's going to help me win. And if they're thinking that this magical plan of targeting Claire and Derek X is going to win, is going to work. But yeah, it does not look like that. This is going to happen. So
there
then
was like
we're going to come.
I mean, I don't want. We won't go into spoilers because there's been some stuff that has been thrown as a spoiler alert, and I don't know if it's true, but I just know that some things that are happening right now aren't going to be favorable for certain people.
Right. I think I know what you're talking about because I saw the same spoiler alert when, like you said, we're not going to get into that.
Right.
But so we go into commercial, we come back, and it's eviction time. Sadly for us, it's time for speeches, and Britney decides to half rap, which at that point I'm just like, that was your, if I was on the fence in this house, who am I going to vote? And she just rapped, boom, my vote is just get out, just get out.
And you know, I feel for her, but when she did that, I was like, you know what, like it was funny the first time, it was funny the second time when he tried it this time, just like doesn't work anymore. She's just, it's too much, it's exhausting.
Right. Yeah. Right. So she raps, she gives her little of a speech, and then this is where I get mad. Derek F, it's his turn to do a speech, and he goes into his speech talking about his mom, about how his mom struggles with bills, and for him ripping out somebody's show, and how he misses all these people. Yeah, this is normal. People do that in speeches, but literally, Derek F's speech was that. He addressed the house guests at the end, and he just goes, if you want to continue getting fed in a clean house, you would keep me. Like, do some effort. Like, do a little. Like, he robs me the wrong way. Like, it's
Well,
just.
so, and people, I mean, you go into these games, and again, I don't want to be like the one that pretends to know everything that happens to you, even though you call me like a ghost of the house. But like, if I was there, Derek F, it sounds like, I don't know, it sounds like he's been handed everything in his life. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I don't know his life, but he is the son of a famous person. I forgot the name, but he is the son of a well-known person. And to me, my assumption is he comes from a decent amount of money, which means that he never really had to struggle with money. So to me,
I mean,
I
he
could be
talked about
wrong.
his mom struggling with bills.
But remember, he's the son of a, I forgot who's his dad.
He's the
Remember
son of a famous boxer.
right. So the boxer, he makes money.
Mm.
So we're not gonna get into that whole discussion, but they make money. They're athletes. They make money. You can't sit here and tell me that Derek F doesn't have any money. He has some type of money, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I wouldn't hold it against him. I wouldn't use it. Like, I wouldn't say like, well, he doesn't deserve too much. It's not about that. It's about, like you said, the way he gave his speech is about being thankful to his family, and that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just when you have to look at other people who are literally playing here because they want to play the game, because they are playing the game, and because they really would need the money. He's not the first person I think of. One, he's not playing the game. He's not playing the game. He doesn't need the money. And even if he did, he's not trying his best to get that money. So there's no reason for him to be the winner of the season. So to me, his days are numbered. And I think that he realizes that, and that's probably why his speech wasn't as good as it should have been, because I can tell you, if I was in that seat as a nominee, I would make sure that I campaign one last time to those players to make sure that they keep me. And not because of the money or because of that, but because I want to stay in the game and because I have more game to play. I feel like he kind of gave up a little bit.
I feel that. I feel a little bit different as well, because I feel like he just feels too comfortable. I feel like he knows at this point,
He has nothing to lose, though.
Right. That's the point. Even though you
Right.
already know how the vote's going to go, make an effort. Like, make an effort to say something to your house guests that's going to really want them to be like, we're making the best decision to keep Britney. Like, if I was in this house and I already knew the vote was going to go to Britney and he did that speech, I would be like, you know what? You don't really seem like you actually care to be here. Like, maybe this is something that we need to look at in the future. Like, you don't care to be here.
And people are looking at it in the future. And that's what I mean. Like, he's not thinking winning the game anymore. It doesn't seem like it. Like you said, if I was already safe, I'd be like, you know what? Well, I'm still gonna do a little bit of campaigning right now because that's what I'm here to do. I'm gonna give my best speech because I deserve to stay here, and I just need to solidify those votes, not just for this one round, but for the next round. And he didn't do that.
Right.
He just solidified he didn't solidify shit. Not even for that round. But I feel like because people were so like just ready to get rid of Britney, that they knew that they had to get rid of her, and that's all he did. I don't think he's going to be safe the next round. He's probably going to go up again the next round. No spoilers.
I don't know.
We don't know.
I don't know, but so the vote starts going. It's looking obvious. Britney's going to be the eviction. Derek F gets one vote to get evicted, which comes from Azza, but I kind of figured that was kind of coming. She kind of felt closer to Britney. So they probably spoke about it beforehand, and she was like, hey, I'm going to just give her a sympathy vote. But after the vote, and I know you probably don't want me to bring this up, but after the vote, after Britney gets taken out, and she's talking to Julie, something very surprising happens where everybody's hugging Derek F, congratulating for him staying in the house. Kylan goes in for a very beautiful smoochy kiss on the lips, with Derek F, and they call it a secret. Like they're like, this is the secret. This is our secret. Now, is this a secret showmance that they're trying to hide? Because Kylan does have somebody outside of his house.
It's not a secret. It's nothing. We were talking about this last time. How, I mean, it might just be Kylan. Kylan is very well aware of the cameras, and he likes the camera. So he's gonna do anything to get that attention.
I'm just gonna put it out there. He did kiss Derek F on the lips.
Yeah, everybody I know. Saw it.
Okay, we're gonna move on now. I just kind of wanted to bring it up. I wanted to irritate you a little bit. So during the little interview that we get to see with Julie and Britney, she said something that's kind of amusing to me. She said that they made her believe that she was going to be hard to beat in the final two because of her story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now,
I really wanted to get into this because I was like, delusion?
Right. Like, they told you a lie and you believed it. You were not going to be winning this game if you got taken 2F2. It's not.
What is the story that you have, girl? I'm sorry, but game-wise, you don't have a story. You were just put up on the block a lot of times because you didn't win anything. Like, you only won one veto, and good for you. But when it was a time for you to win, you didn't win it. So,
I mean, if this was the season to see the winner is going to be determined on the person who cried the most, you would win.
Okay,
you would definitely win. But other than crying and winning one veto, you didn't do much, and you were saved from the block because. And hopefully when she goes home and she sees this season, she's going to understand, oh, I really didn't have a story because they are protecting this alliance. And that's the only reason I was getting kept safe is because they were getting rid of their targets with me on the block.
Right.
Basically all that it was. But I thought it was kind of amusing how she really does think that she was going to be hard to beat in the final two. And that's why they got rid of her now. It's
and I feel like there was a little bit of an awkward silence because I mean, I love Julie. I want to meet Julie so bad. Like, I mean, I love this game. Like, if I met Julie, I'd be like, oh my God, the fact that I get to talk to Julie, like, yes. Like I understand her. Like, every time that she has an awkward silence, like, I know what she's thinking. Like, she is, like, she will ask you any uncomfortable question. She doesn't care. She's getting her check. She will ask you those uncomfortable questions. So when she was listening to Britney say that, she was like, I was gonna be tough to beat in the final two, whatever. Like I swear, I don't know if they showed it, but I swear I could have pictured Julie just been like just thinking like, no, what are you thinking about?
She did cut off the conversation there. After that, she was like, well, I can't confirm or deny anything because you're in jury. But we can give you your goodbye messages. Like, she was done. Like, like, I don't want to hear anything else. Like,
I don't want to hear it. This is not going anywhere.
Right. She's like, we can give you your goodbye videos because it was a quick, to the point interview.
I mean, no one believed it. I feel like that was like I feel like even Britney at some point didn't believe what she was saying. Like, she was just like, I was gonna be the winner, and I was like, what? Where did you get this information from? Where are you getting this from? I don't get it.
Like, did you dream that you were playing a different game when you were on the top? Because we're seeing a different game here.
Like, I'm sorry, girl, but you can't, like, I hope she's okay. And I hope that she does well. And this is not the game for her. It really got to her every time she was on the block. And it's just a prime example that these kinds of shows are mentally draining. I can confirm it from someone who's been in the house.
Okay, Mr. I Met a Pop Star.
I'm just kidding. But you know what I mean? Like, it's difficult. And if you're not mentally ready, you're not mentally ready. And it's going to be difficult, and America's going to see it.
So one question that Jolie, before I forget, the one question that she did ask Britney is who she felt the most betrayed with. And she said Claire and Tiffany because she had an alliance. She even gave alliance names, which one was the silent assassins and something else. But these alliances were meant nothing because they never gave them airtime.
And even if they did mean anything, I don't remember. Like, there has been examples of silent alliances before, but this one was like not even like confirmed by anybody. So it's like, what are you talking about?
Right. Like it meant nothing. It obviously meant something to you and you only. Like,
Right.
So after this wonderful and comedic interview with Julie Chen, after the break, we come back and we do go into the HOH competition because we do get to see who wins HOH during this episode. Now, it's looking kind of scary at some points. I feel bad for Alyssa because let's just put it out there. Alyssa would have won this competition had she not tripped because her time was going to be like 19 seconds or something like that. But
you know what? It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because the person who wins is the person we predicted. Miss Sarah Beth herself wins the HOH competition. So I'm really hoping that she uses this to target somebody big that could really break this alliance. Like, this is what we need. However, we do need to know Kyland is a big influencer with her because they are final twos. And I feel like he's going to try to dictate a lot what she does. Like a lot.
It's kind of sticky because when Sarah Beth won, I knew that Alyssa was going to be safe because Alyssa and Sarah, like, I love them. I love both of them. Like even though they're like not in the same, they're not even in the same alliance, but they just understand each other. They've been understanding each other for a while now.
They are in the same alliance.
Which one?
Well, they had the Royal Flush together.
Yeah,
they were in the Kings together. Yeah, there's not. The only alliance right now that's kind of put together right now, and it's an actual alliance, is the Cookout. But other than that, there's no more alliance. Everybody's just kind of sticking with the people that were in the Royal Flush. It's kind of like the Royal Flush is still there.
But I feel like Sarah Beth is onto the Cookout, and so is Alyssa. And I feel like I definitely do need both of them to stick together because Alyssa's ones, they're both on the outs. Like they are literally both on the outs. The only problem with Alyssa is that Alyssa doesn't have that one person to cling on to anymore, as Sarah Beth does with Kyland. But I think that if Alyssa clings on to Sarah Beth, then she can maybe kind of like maneuver herself through Kyland. Right, because those are my favorite girls. Like I need Alyssa and Sarah Beth to stick together, and then I need them to work with Kyland. That's my final three. And this is exciting because I'm like, okay, you know what? This is Sarah Beth's turn to really get someone. I think that honestly, I don't know what the spoilers are because I've heard so many different things today, but I'm really hoping that, and I'm going to manifest it to the big brother God, that Xavier is the one to go this time. Because I feel like Xavier is like the core of the Cookout, and like the core needs to be broken up. I feel like without Xavier, these people are going to scramble a little bit. Because a lot of these people do report to Xavier.
I did see spoilers. I mean, you can talk about it after the recording.
Right.
But I do see confirmed spoilers. But for now, the episode ends with Sarah Beth winning HOH.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go ahead and predict that she is going to nominate Hannah because we already knew that she was kind of coming after Hannah. And I feel like she's going to nominate maybe like Tiffany. I know that's a strong prediction, but we're going to only hope.
So my predictions are going to be Hannah for sure. I think Sarah Beth deserves more credit than that. And I feel like if she's going to make a move, she's going to have to do a backdoor plan, if possible. And I think because of that, she's going to nominate Derek F. She can't nominate Xavier. I don't think. She can't obviously she's not going to she will not nominate Tiffany. I'm sorry. She just won't. That's way too much of a power move. Like, hell will break loose if she nominates Tiffany. If Tiffany gets on the blog, it has to be a backdoor plan. As the same with Xavier. Derek F and I think Hannah are like the easier ones for her because everybody knows that Sarah Beth was coming for Hannah, so why not do it? But then again, who knows? She might put up Derek X next now. I don't know. It's like maybe because they are a duo and maybe she's like, she might have an excuse for that.
I don't know. but
Sarah
we'll
Beth has,
see.
honestly, Sarah Beth has one of the tougher HOHs so far because there's literally nobody anymore that she can put up that would be justified. It really just comes down to who's going to not come for her the next week. And there's literally nobody there that's not going to come for her. So she's in a really tough spot, but she's also in a very powerful spot. That if she plays it right, she can get rid of a very good person. I don't know. This one's going to be kind of tough. I mean, there's also Claire.
Yeah.
I forgot about Claire, but I don't know.
Well, let's go into our lists. I do actually
Yep.
have my list, so I want to go first.
Okay.
Since you went first last time. This should be no shock to anybody. Well, it is a shock because it's kind of a shock to me right now that I actually did this. I put Derek F at the very bottom, mainly because I didn't like his speech. Try. I know you're like comfortable and you feel safe, but try. Above her, I put Hannah. And let me just put this out there. My bottom four is Derek F, Hannah, Azah, and Tiffany. And these people are in order. They're no specific order. They're not my favorites.
Right.
I don't really the moves that Tiffany. I did put Tiffany above all of them because Tiffany is making some type of move. She is playing kind of smart. She's not playing the way I want her to play. It kind of goes against with what I want. So she's kind of at the bottom, but she's better than the rest because she is making moves.
Right.
Xavier is in the middle above Tiffany, just because I feel like he's a little bit more likable. He thinks that he's controlling the house. He does have like some ego problems, but there's people I don't like more than him. Above Xavier, I have Claire. Basically because now it's the people that I kind of do rub me the wrong way and the right way, people that I like. And Claire is one of the people that I kind of like, but she's not my favorite, so that's where she's at. Derek X, I like the moves that Derek X is doing. I like that he's catching on to certain things. He has potential to break up this alliance, so that's why he's a little bit high. Number 3 is Alyssa. I like Alyssa because she's not part of the alliance. She is on the outs and she's still hanging on strong. She's still making good moves, even though she knows she doesn't have anybody. My number 2 is Kyland, just because he's Kyland. And obviously number 1 is Sarah Beth because she's HOH. And she's my favorite.
Did you mention Azal?
Yes.
Okay,
Tiffany,
sorry,
Azal, Hannah, and Derek F.
That's right. Yeah, you kind of ran. Okay, got it. We have pretty similar lists for the first time, but my last one is Azal. I'm just so tired of Azal. Like, I really just want Azal to go, but I don't think she's gonna go this round either because Azal's not a threat. Like, it's crazy because like the strong players, they're kind of keeping like some of the weaker players around just because they're a number. And Azal is definitely a number for the cookout. Like, she's just a number. That's literally all she is. Like as soon as they can get rid of her, they will get rid of her. Like, she's another Britney. She literally is. Like, it's the same thing. They're too emotional. The only thing is that Azal doesn't cry as much. And like I said on the last episode, Azal is a little bit of a better competitor, obviously, even though she hasn't won anything, but she just seems like she would be. I don't know. Still to find out. Haven't seen anything from her. Right above her is Derek F. Same thing. Derek F is just such a disappointment. I wish that he would have done so much more, but it wasn't his game. His days are numbered. He should be going out pretty soon. Hannah is like the person that I love to hate. Like, she legit is. Like, she is that one person that I love to hate. Like, it's so weird because like people love her and like like Azal and Derek F, I don't hate them. I just don't like them. But Hannah is like that one girl that I'm just like, I don't like you. Like, I just want you to be eliminated. Like I feel like she's just so cocky and like she just thinks that she's all that. And I'm just like, you haven't done anything though. Like, I mean, yeah, you're sneaky, but you're not calling the shot. Like, what are you doing? You're literally just there. I don't know what kind of gameplay that is, but I'm not a fan of it. So I don't like her. And then after that, I have Claire. Claire, again, is just boring me. And then I have Xavier. I feel like Xavier is kind of like the same thing like Hannah. they think they're all that and they're safe and they don't. I feel like Xavier and Hannah just feel like they don't have to do anything because they're safe. It's like, ew, that's gross. Like if you ever feel safe in the Big Brother house, then you shouldn't be in the Big Brother house. That's not a
Right.
game worthy. That's not a game worthy win. And then I have Derek X. The only reason I have Derek X as a fifth is because I feel like he's losing his influential power a little bit. Just because Tiffany, who's the fourth, is doing a little bit more on the influencing than Derek X is. So like I feel like between Tiffany and Derek X, like they kind of go back and forth on who has more influence. And right now Tiffany definitely has more influence than Derek X. Well, not since Sarah Beth won, but prior to this, Tiffany did. So that's why I was like, well, Tiffany does have a pretty good read on the house. And Derek X is kind of like on the lower end. Like he wanted to get rid of Derek X, that didn't work. So that means that Tiffany had a stronger hand on that. So that's that. And then of course we have Alyssa, Sarah Beth, and Kellen as the top three, which we all know, everybody knows, whoever's watching this, that those are like the top three. Alyssa is like, I want her to win, but you know, she's stuck in third right now. And then Sarah Beth and Kellen, they're like just battling it out for first and second. So
Right.
yeah.
But for now, we have reached the end of another wonderful Big Brother Spill episode. If you're still with us, please give us a comment. We have been seeing a little bit of comments on our Facebook page, which is really interesting to see. We love it. If you are following us on YouTube, please subscribe. Every time there's an episode, you will see us pop up on your screen because we will add another video. Just follow us along, give us some tips, comments, and we'll definitely shout you out.
Yep. But until then, until next time.
Until next time.